For years, I thought I was moving forward, but I realized that I was just keeping myself entertained at the time. Where this was a couple of years ago, where I was just starting to get into entrepreneurship. And this was exciting, right? Because bearing in mind, I was still in the first year of university, and it felt like there was a lot that could happen with this. And so, what I did, the first thing I did is I started just researching. I started watching videos, I started writing things down for at least the first couple months. And that was just purely writing things down. I never actually did anything. I was just writing all these things down, watching all these videos, taking all these notes, which to some level was okay, but I never got anywhere. And I noticed that looking back now, I realized that this actually happened in quite a few areas of my life where I would delve so much into the planning of it. I want to make sure I'm fully prepared before I, take that step to do whatever it is. But that's the stuff, the exact thing that actually held me back, where I realized that it's so much better to just start and take action on the thing that I needed to do. Because all that really happened is that it just delayed the actual results and the thing that I really wanted. And I can compare it, for example, to the YouTube stuff I'm doing now. These videos are far from perfect, but I just focus on the output. That's all I'm focusing on because I don't really need much more input or things to learn at this point because I feel like I'm going to learn far better by actually executing and learning from those executions. And I would sometimes have it where, for example, if I wanted to learn something or whatever, I was constantly taking stuff in. I was trying to listen to that podcast, watch this video, and this would happen on a regular basis. And I think I just found that constantly inputting information, even if it's good information, really slowed me down because it just felt like there was so much information that was coming in that I just didn't really know what to do with. My brain didn't really know what to do with it, and some of it wasn't really that relevant. And I found a lot of the content I was consuming was almost just trying to validate the feelings or the things that I already knew, but it just felt good to have them validated. And I know that, and for reference, the change of scenery is because I'm currently sort of moving house and such. But in the last 5 to 6 days, when I was in a flat with my flatmate, I didn't consume any content, like nothing, not one single video. And all I did was output. And I recorded my time, just sat working every single day. And I pretty much sat working for at least 10 hours every single day, working on recording videos and designing my video game. And what was really interesting is that at the end of that, I felt great. I felt great. But the interesting thing was is that, I didn't need or really feel the need at all to consume any form of content. And that's really interesting because I think I've always told myself, or I used to tell myself, right, we need to, go out there and, keep taking stuff in so we're kept up to date or whatever. But although there is some element of truth to that, I also feel like that can be a bit of a trap as well, where if you're constantly consuming, constantly pulling in information that you don't really need, information which might even just be simply validating what you already knew. I think just focusing on those outputs so much more. So I think if you're going to walk away with anything, I think just try and tone down the amount of content, the inputs you're taking in on a regular basis, and just focus on trying to output more, like genuinely output more. Because, for example, the stuff with this YouTube stuff, I am recording sometimes one, perhaps even two YouTube videos every single day, and I schedule them in advance. Not saying you need to do that, but if you're interested in getting into stuff with YouTube, at least get something like once a week or something. But it doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't perfect. I don't even have really much of a script at all. I'm just pretty much speaking from my mind. I think that's really what's really helped me in just building on this YouTube channel, at least, is I'm just trying to output. I don't really care, right? I'm just trying to output, speak on things that I'm enjoying about. And if people resonate with it, if people like it, if people don't like it, great. That's all feedback which I can use for the next videos. But generally speaking, I think just less inputs and more outputs. And that's going to give you so much more information that a lot of these videos and information aren't really going to be able to tell you when you're actually executing.